Hello, Reformers, and welcome back to the Scoundrel edition of Star Wars The Old Republic. Now, when we left off, we had just discovered the kind of location of where we need to go. You know, the Nightmare Lands. It's not a big deal. The Nightmare Lands don't sound that bad, right? Yeah, no. And we had some also pretty terrible one-liners from me, obviously, because that's usually what happens. And we are now back here on Voss, because just a mere 10 minutes ago, I was on the fleet remodding my gear. So as you can see here, we now have level 48 mods, technically, in here, and it is really, really much better. Oh yes, we were having a hard time. Definite hard time. So, we are now back here, and we're going to be speaking to Lokir Ka at the guard station.
I am still on Ores. I should see you off myself. Take this holo-recorder. It is my wife's. She is an adjudicator. Bring back evidence of Jella's crimes. It will be trusted.
So, how do I get to the Nightmare Lands from here?
Take this transport to the excavation site. Speak with Talande. He is your best chance to survive.
Ah, I see. Okay, well, yes, I'm perfectly happy to do that, but I somehow don't believe I will need to speak to this guy. But we're gonna see if that is indeed the case. I'm gonna just see whether I can actually take a speeder there. It doesn't seem as though I can actually take a speeder there, so it appears, at least, I will be riding with Jeff. Oh yes. Okay, so we are now approaching the Dark Heart and entering another very familiar site. This is obvious Voss architecture, but I have a feeling that we're going to be encountering some very crazy things. Obviously, we do have the Gormak abominations here, which are obviously corrupted by the Dark Heart itself. But did you notice in the previous episode, Jella herself was very unhinged, so to speak. She was having problems even forming sentences. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but what I do know is we're going to head in here and deactivate the force field. So how do we deactivate it? There must be a control panel around here somewhere. It must be right next to it. Oh no. Oh, this is not good, actually. There are a lot of modified cybernetic creatures on the other side, just waiting to devour us.
These controls are all that keeps the beasts in check. Without them, they would savage us in a heartbeat.
Do not expect me to take your word for... Ah. It seems you provide a means of testing after all.
You!
I'm not taking the fall for you.
I will leave you to rot. Rogan's rewards mean nothing now. I have found a power mere criminals can only dream of. Get him, my pets. Let him see what lies within the Dark Heart.
Yes, as you can see, quite unhinged, and unfortunately most of these are apparently able to see through stealth, which is kind of a shame. Yeah, they apparently are not allowing us to go stealth, which is fine because these things are actually, as you see, now that we have remodded our gear, exceptionally easy in comparison to what they were before, which is actually kind of nice because obviously we're still taking the same amount of damage, but we are just able to kill things a little bit quicker. And now we have a Sith to deal with, which is quite impressive because we haven't actually fought a Sith in quite some time, if at all, have we? I don't even know, I can't even remember. It's been a long time since we've fought anyone with force powers, at least. Kill him. Yes, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to use my Vanish ability. Oh, I was hoping that Risha would continue attacking, but apparently she's also going to be using it, so okay. We're just going to rest a little bit now. Yeah, I could have easily taken her on if Risha had taken some of the damage, but obviously I didn't. Well, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Because now we can sneak up on her. So let's be very, very quiet. We're hunting wabbits, aren't we? We're hunting wabbits. In this case, it's Cathar, but still. Oh, okay. Did not realize she was that easy. If I knew that she was that easy, I probably would have just gone in on her beforehand. So, oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so he is back at the camp, and we're gonna go back there. Very. What is going on with my quick bar there for a second? It was kind of weird. Okay, well, nevertheless, let's go back to Lokir Ka. Alright, so we're back here at his tent, and I am not entirely sure where we're gonna go next, because isn't that where you usually have the showdown on Voss? In that small area over there? Maybe there's another place that we need to go to.
Jella's dead.
The darkness must come, that the light shine brighter. I will set a hearing with the adjudicators.
Better wear your best suit, Captain. And remember to make eye contact.
You should not live with this stain.
I don't usually get to clear my name. Of course, I'm usually guilty.
Go to the hearing board in Voss-Ka. I will speak on your behalf.
Really? Wow. Okay, well, that's actually kind of impressive. Okay, so Voss-Ka, where is Voss-Ka now? Ah, Republic District, of course. Okay, so this is kind of weird, and that's the thing, I keep coming back to that. With the Smuggler story, there always seems to be some sort of weird change in the structure of the story missions, because every single time you come to Voss, there's a sort of standard progression. Now that I've played almost all the classes, you kind of get to learn what is currently going on with the classes in their various stories. And even though you don't exactly know what's going to happen, you kind of get a gist for the fact that there is a sort of
I'll teach you what I know.
thing that always technically kind of happens. Yes. So, yeah, it's kind of amazing to see this kind of thing happen even after all this time. Now, there is a new ability that we've just gained here, which is called Scamper. Roll forward 12 meters, activating Scamper a second time. Within 10 seconds allows you to roll again. Wow, that's actually really nice. That is an amazing maneuverability. Yes, ability. Oh, how redundant. Anyway, I apparently have to go all the way up here, over the bridge, over the central platform, and then over another bridge, so it's going to take a bit of time, but I just thought that was kind of cool, because the standard structure for the stories for every other class is arrive on Voss, do a certain amount of things, you know, sort of interact with your, you know, emissary, your Republic emissary, or your Imperial, or whatever, and then you fight a couple of Gormak, you try to help the Voss in some way, and then you go to a very dark place indeed, and you encounter a similar entity, but this time we did not encounter that. So, yeah, no spoilers. I'm trying not to give spoilers here, but yes, in general, that's usually the way it goes, but with this, they just shake it up. Alright, so we have arrived in Voss-Ka, and, well, I think this is going to be kind of amusing. I think the Smuggler usually is quite smart in terms of his remarks, you know, he'll always have some kind of hilarious, humorous comment to say to authority figures, so let's see whether we have a couple more down our sleeve, or up our sleeve in this case.
I petition Mirev Ka and the Tribunal for the outsider.
The outsider is accused of trafficking with Gormak. You take this on?
I do.
You both agree to all proceedings?
We do.
I'll play this one by the book.
You are accused of trafficking with Gormak. Testimony.
The recording shows everything you need.
Jella Reneki sold the Gormak monstrosities.
We must confer. The evidence speaks. This crime is Jella Reneki's. She has been punished.
But you have other transgressions.
What do you think I've done?
For negotiating with Gormak, entering forbidden territory, and corrupting the moral health of an honoress, you owe a debt.
The accusation was trafficking, not...
You speak out of turn, husband.
It was my idea, honorable adjudicators. These lesser crimes stopped Jella Reneki. Punish me.
You guys decide whatever you want. I'm leaving.
Leave and you lose all diplomatic privileges on Boss.
What kind of debt to society are we talking about?
You must serve, Boss. We will not prolong your stay. Aid our community by making deliveries to our settlers off-world. Lo Kir Ka will provide the details.
I will work this out. Meet me at our mutual friend's shop.
Uh-huh. Okay. Do I have to do that? Or, I mean, that's the thing. That's why I said, I'm out of here, because I kind of wanted to leave. I did not want to do this. Oh, no. Well, we would have lost all diplomatic privileges, and that, obviously, is not good. So, I'm going to go back to Kenlar Outpost, and we'll go to Scratch's shop, but as you can see, I need to deliver a package to Alderaan, Balmora, and Coruscant, but obviously I will not be showing that on screen. As far as I'm aware, it's not actually anything story-based. I think it's just one of those things where you drop off something and then it's just like, oh, here's some free experience, but you've got to do this, this, and this before you get that. As you can see, it actually pays us 182,000? Wow. Okay, that's actually kind of amazing, but still, you have to go to all of those places. It's kind of annoying, but oh well. Maybe I should I have blamed him? Should I have blamed that guy? No, I feel a bit bad about doing that because he helped us throughout the entire ordeal, and even though he's Voss, and even though he is always quite moralistic and very by the book, as it were, he decided to bend those books, I suppose you could say, a little bit to help us out. And I think that stabbing him in the back at that point would have been very dishonorable. But again, we are a smuggler. We're not a Jedi Knight. So technically, we could have done that. But as I say, I wasn't a big fan of that. Okay, well, on from the adjudication, we are now going to be speaking once more with Scratch. And I'm kind of a bit weirded out still, because usually this is when you would already be back on your ship after being on Voss, but maybe there's more business for us to attend to.
Kabanotase makipuna, malituta odmishka.
My contacts would not risk hiding me. They say this man knows you. Does Jella live?
Jella won't be bothering your family again.
Thank you. I will not see Rogan send another Jella to control us. Would you take our trade instead?
There's a no-brainer.
You can run this through Dharma's Paulydavids. At Port Nowhere.
If he has buyers, we can supply. I'd rather you than Rogan see the profits.
Mitisa roda, kopana chapurko utman gisa?
I did not think to be so long. I wish you a future of clear vision and strong will. I will not be the same.
Idwana shoto.
Okay. Now, okay, so yeah. Now this is also a bit of a bone of contention with me here, because didn't Lo Kir Ka just literally say, "Meet me at our mutual friend's shop"? And I thought that he would have something a little bit more to say than, okay, goodbye, you know, sort of thing. Oh well, it doesn't really matter so far. But what does matter is now using our transport to get to the holo terminal, and I assume we're probably going to be speaking to Darmus? Are we going to be speaking to Darmus? I don't know. Because it didn't Senator Dodonna want to send us here to find out who was attacking her and all that sort of thing, but I guess we know who that was now, don't we?
Captain, I just received an interesting offer from one of Rogan's former men. Seems he's got some exotic cavalry that needs a home. Your doing, I trust?
Rogan's pipeline was through Gormak Zak, and Zak works for me now.
You've got the magic, Captain. Won't be another crook in the galaxy who can touch you. You've got Rogan in full retreat. He's calling his surviving lieutenants for a war council. I checked into all of Ivory's bolt holes. The one on Tatooine seems to be the one still active.
Rogan always shows up to spoil my good time. Let's give him a taste.
Hear, hear. I bet I could get a good bid price to see the look on his face. This is your chance to wipe the slate and call the biggest criminal empire in the galaxy your own.
Well, that sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds very good indeed. I would very much like to see that. So, yeah, there we are. I suppose, is this the showdown? I don't know. Well, we're going to find out, but I think first we're going to have a bit of a chat with some of our companions, and then we'll end the episode off there. So, if you are not into companion conversations, then you know what to do, and check back for the next episode. But anyway, for now, let's speak to Bodar, we'll speak to Gus, and then we'll speak to Risha, and then we'll see after that.
You spent 100 years being miserable, pal. You're overdue for a little serenity.
You know, even when he's saying really, really kind and nice words, he always sounds incredibly aggressive for some reason. Well, that's a Wookiee. That's a Wookiee for you, I guess.
They should make every Jedi kid spend time in a war zone. When you see what real Sith are like, it makes my blood run cold. And don't make any fish jokes there. I'm serious. It makes you see why the Jedi make such a big deal about not giving in to the dark side.
Thinking about going back?
I am. But right now, I'm in your crew, and I can't ask for anything better. But Master Lauren was right. The road to the dark side starts with things we all feel. Jealousy, greed. They're all the seeds of it. I'd rather spend the rest of my life meditating on a cold rock than turn into that.
Well, doesn't that say a lot about Gus right there? That sounds to me like he is very, very firmly in the light. And that is actually kind of reassuring, isn't it? Because he used to be a con man, he used to work for bad people, but you know, if he decides to go back to the Jedi, I can assume they would welcome him with open arms, and maybe he could then learn to control the Force a little bit more efficiently.
You probably think I'm chasing Debrillion's throne to get rich, don't you?
You're a much more complicated woman than that.
You think I'm complicated, but in a good way, right? Because I am complicated. I've seen what bad leadership does to a place. Alderaan, Nar Shaddaa, even Coruscant. They all suffer because of who's in power. I'm not looking to plunder Debrillion. I want to make it better, run their society the right way.
From everything I've heard about your homeworld, it could use someone decent in charge.
Never thought of myself as decent before. Maybe I can sell that. Every successful leader has the same strength. They're perceived as generous by their subjects. Give the people just enough of what they want, and they'll leave you alone. That's something the King of Dubrillion doesn't understand.
You think the Sith Emperor worries about pleasing his people? He's still in power.
Making people fear you is easy when you're a scary Sith. I don't have that luxury. I can make this work. It's all about negotiation, and I'm good at that. I'm just thinking out loud now. We should get back to business.
Well, yes, I would very much be happy with that. So, yes, next time, I probably would have done all of the paying your debt quests, unless there is something to show. If there's something to show, then I'll obviously record that, but otherwise, yeah, you don't have to worry about that, unless there's some cutscene or whatever. I doubt there is, but if there is, then I'll show it. Anyway, otherwise, we'll do a little bit of companion conversation in the next episode as well, at the very beginning, and then we will travel to Tatooine and meet Rogan, or at least we will interrupt his business on Tatooine as well. So I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.